Hello, everybody, and there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Playoff Recap. I'm so glad you could be with us here tonight. No theme. I know it's crazy, but I guess I didn't think that went through properly. Tonight on the show, we're going to be taking a look at, our regular stuff, our this week in Musketeer history, and then we have a big conference final coming up. So we'll be back after this.
Hello, I'd like to order French fries, a burger, and a milkshake. This is a library. I'd like to order French fries, a burger, and a milkshake.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
I have an annuity, but I need cash now.
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now. They help thousands, they'll help you too. One lump sum of cash they will pay to you. If you get long-term payments, but you need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now.
877 cash now.
877 cash now.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if which to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with a man your man could smell it. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Oh, smells like Old Spice and nothing. I'm on a horse. Hello?
Hi.
Okay.
When someone gets home tonight, someone should be wearing a naughty French maid's outfit, a blonde wig, and holding a 6-pack of Bud Light.
We like you, the stranger. Oh, you meant...
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Hello, stranger.
Make it a Bud Light.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, it is that time to take a look at this year in Musketeer playoff history. So we've got 3 games for you all. We will start out semifinals, game 4 back in 2005 versus the Tri-City Storm. Obviously, we had gotten to this point where Tri-City led the series 2-1. However, of course, the series would come back to Sioux City led the series 2-1. Jeez Louise. I'm just all over the place. It's Friday, so hey. Anyway, Muskies had the lead in the series 2-1. It started out early for the Muskies in that game. 40 seconds in, Brian Bales scored from Tim Kennedy and Chris Butler in that game. And then right at the end, Brian Bales again from Chris Butler again, and Justin Bostrom. And then in the second period, Travis Turnbull scored from Kent Bostrom, the other Bostrom, and Chris Butler. Chris Butler, 3 assists on the night, of course, 1 on the power play. And guess what? Sioux City would move on to win it 3-2, and they would move on to the Clark Cup finals with that goal. I know it's crazy, but yeah. Well, we have to take a look at the next time the Muskies were in the playoffs, 2007. It was the qualifying round, game 5 of a best of 7 series. I know that might sound crazy, especially in the USHL, but hey. Let's see. I believe this series is tied. Yes, 2-2. And well, we're in Tri-City on it was Thursday night, so there you go. And Sioux City just went crazy. It started at about 8 minutes in when Kevin Laurie scored from Alex Tuckerman and Dustin Gaisley on the power play. Craziness, I know, but it's strange how things work sometimes. And then the next goal, in fact, was just about 6 minutes later. Blake Martin from Max Pacioretty and Phil DeSimone on the power play there as well. And then Musketeers scored another power play goal just less than a minute into the second. Max Pacioretty, from Blake Martin and Matt Crandell. And then right at, about halfway through the period, Dustin Gaisley from Alex Tuckerman and Kevin Laurie. And then, the Muskies got 2 goals right at the end. Well, just with over 5 minutes left, Max Pacioretty from Phil DeSimone and Kevin Laurie on the power play. Oh my God. And then right at the end, with just 46 seconds left, Phil DeSimone from Blake Martin and Tyler Peterson on the empty netter goal. In fact, Muskies in that game went 4 for, I don't know. I'd be sitting here all night if I counted all the penalties, but yeah, you take a look at the score sheet. Max Pacioretty, 2 goals, 1 assist for us. Alex Tuckerman, 2 assists. Phil DeSimone, 1 goal, 2 assists. So yeah, all right, now 2014. This is the conference final. Conference final, game 2. Now Waterloo had the lead in the series 1-0. Game 2, is in Waterloo. We do get the first goal of the game. It was Bobby Nardella. God, some of these names, when I go back and do these recaps, I'm like, gosh, I haven't heard of that guy in a long time. From Adam Johnson, God rest his soul. Just like that, it was 1-0 at the end of 1. However, though, Waterloo would go on to win it. 3 power play goals, people. 3 power play goals. Although I think the even interesting thing about this is Cal Peterson was the goaltender for Waterloo. And of course, he's now in the NHL. And then Kyle Hayton, our goaltender, got a game misconduct for abusive official right at the end of the game. So that was also really nice. All righty. We're like way behind schedule now after that. So let's take a look at we started a minute late. So that screwed some things up too as well. But let's take a look at some USHL scores now. Right now, tied up at 3 with just over 4 minutes left to go in overtime. Green Bay and Muskegon are tied up at 3. The winner of this series will move on to the Eastern Conference Final to play Dubuque. Green Bay had a 3-1 lead at the end of 2, but Justin Solove, under 2 minutes in, made it a 3-2 game. And then with just a minute and 6 seconds left to go, Joe Connor scored at the 18:54 mark to make it a tie game at 3. And now they are currently in overtime. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. But hopefully. Hey, if Green Bay we're hoping Green Bay moves on just based off the season series with Muskegon, because that was a little, let's just say, not good, to say the least. It really wasn't that great. We didn't really have a great road trip up in Muskegon. I know, it's just things happen, okay? Things just happened, and yeah, in fact, we actually listening to this game right now. That's the even weirder thing. However, though, if I disconnected the thing, it would, or my microphone, which I have hooked up to the computer, it would just screw everything up and I wouldn't be left with audio. We learned that the hard way last Friday, didn't we? But I'm actually going to pull it up on my phone, and if we can listen to it, because there's only 2 minutes and some odd seconds left in overtime. So yeah, and then while I pull this up, we're just going to say we're not going to have any content tomorrow, mainly because, as you know, we're going up this weekend to my cousin's graduation. We are staying the night tomorrow night and overnight into Sunday. However, though, the people that are coming down to get us still don't know what time they're gonna. They said, oh, it'll be afternoon. It'll most likely be afternoon. It won't be before noon. I'm like, okay, that's not. Because I'm one of those people who likes to plan things. I'm a really big planner, minute by minute type of thing. I'm just, I like to keep a schedule of certain things. And, when things like this happen, when we don't know an approximate time, it drives me crazy. Here we go. We got the game here. So hopefully. Oh, God, they'll make it go 2. In fact, it almost went 2 between these two the other night. Anyway, that's the only USHL game. Let's go for some NHL action. We could always use that. Right now, the Canucks lead the Predators 2-0 with 4:43 left to go in the third period. Just getting started. Jets at the Avalanche tied up at 0. Then coming up in about half an hour, the Oilers are at the Kings. And then the Rangers beat the Capitals 3-1. NBA games. Right now, at the end of the third quarter, the Mavericks lead the Clippers 78-67. 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Timberwolves lead the Timberwolves are at the Suns rather. And then the Pacers beat the Bucks 121-118 in overtime. MLB scores. Bottom of the 8th right now. The White Sox lead the Rays 9-3. The Reds and the Rangers are tied up at 1. Bottom of the 7th, tied up at 5. The Yankees are at the Brewers. Top of the 3rd, the Twins lead the Angels 1-0. Middle of the 3rd, the Mariners lead the Diamondbacks 2-0. The Phillies lead the Padres 2-0. Should be just getting started here within a couple of minutes. Pirates at the Giants, and then games from earlier this afternoon, or today really. The Royals beat the Tigers 8-0. The A's beat the Orioles 3-2 in 10 innings. The Dodgers beat the Blue Jays 12-2. The Cubs beat the Red Sox 7-1. The Cardinals beat the Mets 4-2. The Nationals beat the Marlins 3-1. And then the Braves beat the Guardians 6-2. So those are all the things in terms of scores. Well, in terms of scoring. So let's take a look at a conference final preview. Well, the one that's confirmed for sure. And we'll start. Oh, yes, Green Bay. Come on. Come on. Okay. Oh, well. I can't speak. Taken by Lutz. Near side. Boisvert causing havoc. Back in the Green Bay zone. Gallucci clears it. 8 seconds to go in the first overtime period. 5 seconds. Bayo behind his net. The near side corner. We're not done yet. Damn, they're going to a double overtime. For the first time this postseason, they're going to a double overtime. Darn. Crap. So, unfortunately, we won't know who's going to win, at least in this live stream, at least. So, we're going to have to wait on that one. But while we're at it, let's take a look at the conference final. And then we'll also take a look at the potential conference final because I also made notes on the 2 potential matchups. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll start off with Fargo and Sioux City. Their first meeting was all the way back on October 7th. That was their first meeting in Fargo. 5-4 was the final score. A close game, but then crap just hit the fan from there, to say the least. Because then we played them 3 times in November. We only won one of those 3. In fact, it was a 7-2, a 5-2, and then we won 3-2 type of thing. Although that we probably would not have won that game unless it was for a lucky bounce. I can't remember if it was the second goal or the third goal, but it was a pretty lucky bounce, which made it through. So yeah, and then we played them twice in December. Both times lost them both 5-2 and then 4-1. And then we played them again in February in a home series. Fargo won the first game 1-0. It was such a good game. Urban on his toes, to say the least. And he needs to be in this series if the Muskies even have a shot, which they definitely do. They definitely do, due to some certain due to some things I'm going to get on this sheet of paper here in a couple of minutes. But yeah, so when we take a look at the records, out of the 8 games played this year, Fargo went 7-1, and the Muskies went 1-6-1-0. In fact, Fargo outscored Sioux City 35-16. That's 4.38 goals a game. In fact, the regular season goals for average was 4.39, so not too far off there. And then Sioux City only scored about 2 goals a game against them. That's obviously got to improve, which means Caden Shahan, Ty Hansen, he scored goals in big moments, as you know, from Monday night. Loftus, in fact, they've really been getting key goals and points from the defensemen. So yeah, well, Ty Hansen, not really a surprise, but Finn Loftus too. He's been getting on the score sheet here in the playoffs, which is a good thing for the Muskies, to say the least. If they can get production like that from the defense in this series against Fargo, then it should be quite an interesting series. I'll just say that. But yeah. Anyway, Fargo and the 3 games they played against Tri-City, they scored just about 0.7 less than, obviously the regular season, 3.66. In fact, it was a couple of 3-1s to start things out, and then it was a 5-3 final, although Tri-City almost came back in that 3rd game, which of course we all witnessed here on RVN on Wednesday night, but unfortunately they cannot poke it through. Now, there is some funny things here that I'm going to get to, because in fact this playoff run is almost identical, if not the entirely same thing, from the 2022 run, because the 2022 run here, I'll just go by some of the things that happened during the 2022 round and see where the similarities sort of collide. So the Muskies in 2022, they had 87 points. Obviously, that's, I think, 10 less, or just under 10, or just over 10 less than the Muskies had this season, which, whatever. But however, though, they of course got the first round bye, and then they beat the number 6 seed. And we're still in 2022 here. The Muskies beat the number 6 seed, Tri-City. Oh wait, no. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Waterloo. So then we play the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. In fact, the best team in the entire USHL in terms of points. And that was Tri-City. 47-11-3-1. That was 98 points. One of the best seasons in the entire USHL history. And guess what? We swept Tri-City. And the funny thing was, Tri-City got to us by beating the 4th seed in the Western Conference, which that year it was Omaha, believe it or not. You wouldn't believe that from the last 2 seasons they've had, but that was the way it went. Now, if you've kept notes on 2022, here's what 2024, the playoff run for us, has looked like. It started out with the first round bye. We beat the number 6 seed in the second round. In this case, it was Lincoln. We play the number 1 seed in Fargo here, 50-10-2. That's 102 points, just 4 more than Tri-City. And Tri-City got to this point, or excuse me, Fargo got to this point because they beat the 4th seed in the Western Conference, Tri-City. Just let that sink in for a moment, because we're almost going in a similar path in terms of 2022. I truly, and guess what? The first 2 games were in Tri-City in 2022. We won those each by 1 game. And then we shut out Tri-City at home, game 3. I think if the game on October 7th is anything to go by, if they have 2 of those, and in fact they go Sioux City's way, hell, anything could happen. Anything could happen. I think Sioux City, with the path we're going in right now, this is just too coincidental. I'm just saying. So I think, just with logic and reasoning here, we're going to sweep Fargo. And you know what? We're going to do it. because we can do it. I know one of my mom's friends said, like, oh, Fargo's not a physical team. Or they said something like, oh, we don't think Fargo has, the physicality to. Well, the thing with that is Fargo is not, and I repeat, is not a physical team at all. They don't run on physicality. In fact, I think they had the least amount of penalty minutes all season long. So they definitely don't run on physicality. They have just got a great core of guys. In fact, some of them, Zamplant, Max Swanson, those two guys, probably one of the top or two of the top players in the whole entire league. Leo Gruba, throw him up there. It's those guys that score, 50 to 60 points a season. That's why they're right where they are. And we need to shut those guys down, whatever it takes to get those guys down. We're going to do. Now, we'll head on over to the East because I'll have the schedule for that here in a second, because things are going to get interesting when it comes to next week and next weekend. Anyway, so here's a preview of the potential matchups in the East. So we'll start off Muskegon and Dubuque. So this is if Muskegon wins it here. Safe to say, I'm just going to go by the records. I'm not really going to go by any scores or anything like that. Muskegon went I think that's supposed to say, Dubuque went 4-1 against Muskegon this year. Muskegon went 1-4 against Dubuque. In fact, Dubuque outscored Muskegon 27-12. Per game, that's 5.4 goals for Dubuque and 2.4 goals for Muskegon. Now, two of those games, in fact, the first two games that they played, Dubuque scored 8 goals in both of those games. In fact, it was 16-5. They outscored Muskegon because it was an 8-3 and then an 8-2. And something, I wouldn't say similar happened with Green Bay, but I'll clue you in here. The first two meetings, Dubuque outscored Green Bay 13-3. And they got shut out in game one in Dubuque, 9-0. So it was a 9-0, 4-3, 4-3 OT win, and then a 6-2 win. So Dubuque 4-0 against Green Bay, and Green Bay went 0-3-1 against Green Bay. Now, the reason why I hope Green Bay wins this series is so that we don't have to face Muskegon. Muskegon really worries me, to be honest. In fact, I'm more worried about playing Muskegon than I am Dubuque, if I'm being completely honest with you, in the final. I don't know why. I think that was just because we were able to beat Dubuque at home 9-3 back on November 11th. And then even when we did go to their home barn, we lost in overtime. So we could have just as easily won that game too. So we almost went 2-0 on Dubuque this year. So that's why I think if we can get over Fargo, and if Green Bay advances, we should be in pretty damn good shape for the final. That's if that happens, and I am praying that happens. We need it to happen, so please, God. Anyway, so anyway, that's really all I got. I'm sure they're probably not back from the intermission break yet. We'll be off the air, I'm pretty sure, by the time the second overtime starts. So maybe not. Unless he's just off the air or something like that for now. But I do want to give you a weekend preview and what's coming up next week, because next week it's just, oh my God, I want to kill myself, to be honest with you. So tomorrow, nothing scheduled. I know that seems strange because Saturday is our main day of broadcasting here on RVN. Well, it's when you get to see me the most, is on Saturdays. Unfortunately, though, we will not have anything tomorrow. Yeah. However, though, Sunday, when we get back from town, it should still be about 7:30 or 7 o'clock-ish. 6:30, 7 o'clock, somewhere in there. We will have $1 million drop live. And how it's going to work is that it's going to be a special 70-minute show. So it'll run from 9 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern time. And then we'll be back on for a playoff recap at 10:40 p.m. Eastern time. Now, the reason why I say that is because the Muskies will game one of the Western Conference final is Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. Central time in Fargo. However, though, since I'll be at a cousin's graduation, and yeah, my mom says it starts at 3 or starts at 4 rather, excuse me, but I think it actually starts at 3. Although I could be wrong on that too. It's just God, I've gotten so many graduation cards and all the times and stuff. It's just it's just so meddled into one, you know. So yeah. Either way though, expect those two things because we have not had $1 million drop live episode in so long. Between the last 2 Fridays we've had watch parties at Peace Pizza, and then today, since there was a chance of severe, potentially tornadic activity here in Sioux City, I decided, I don't want to be caught up in a tornado warning while we're live on air. That just did not seem good enough at all. So, in fact, the funny thing was we hardly got hit. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that because it was raining and stuff all day, but there was like no thunder or anything like that. It was just rain. So, and then it actually rained it actually did thunderstorm pretty good for about 20 minutes, right around 5:30, 5:45-ish, somewhere in there. But there was a tornado emergency. Like along the I-29 under us, there was like a huge spawn of storms. And like right at the bottom of it, they actually declared a tornado emergency. That is some scary. Well, it's after 9 o'clock, so I'll say it's scary shit, to say the least. So yeah, that was just nuts. When I heard that, I probably shouldn't have freaked out, but I kind of did inside. But yeah, it's just been crazy weather because it stormed overnight. It woke me up at like 3 a.m. in the morning. But yeah. But anyway, I'm sure second overtime will be starting here shortly. But let me just give you a quick rundown as to the schedule of next week. Now, Monday is game 2. That we will have for you at 8 p.m. Eastern time, live from Pea's Pizza at the watch party. We will have that for sure. I can definitely say for sure we're going to have that. And then I can also definitely say Thursday night, game 3, here in 7:55 p.m. Eastern time. Now, we're going to start to get into the elimination phase of the postseason. So there might be a stream maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, or maybe even both nights. Who knows? So yeah, Friday night, this is where things get kind of tricky. Because there's this school competition that they schedule all the way at the beginning of May. And it's in 2.5 hours away from here. However, though, the thing about that is that's when game 4 is going to be here in Sioux City. That's going to suck if game 4 is potentially the last game of the season. If we happen to get to that mark. I don't think we will, because I am counting on that we will go all the way and sweep Fargo in 3 games. 3 games straight in a row. We're going to do it. So I keep on having that, mindset, because if, I think it and, I go ballistic about it, then I'm like, okay, Friday night, sure. It'll be just fine, whatever. I can go to that, and then the next week we have Clark Cup Finals, and it's just, like that. However, though, if we do have to have a game 4, that is going to not be good, to say the least. That is really not going to be good, because I would have to miss that game. Now, the funny thing was, the only reason why we were able to do the home opener was because I was sick from school, and the rules is that if you're sick on the day of like an activity or whatever, you are ineligible for that activity. And since I actually was legitimately sick, I did not go to school. However, though, I was good enough and I was well enough. Oh, there you go. Since I was well enough, I was able to call the game. However, though, what you might not have known is that my band teacher found out about it. Now, I post things on like behind the scenes content of it on Snapchat, which, you know, I thought it well, because I actually did skip a band competition to see the banner raising ceremony. So, yeah. But also, too, why the hell would you schedule 2 band competitions in the same day? Like, you're already tired from the first one. Why would you want to do it again? Like, what logic? What kind of logic made that make any sense? That's what I want to know personally. I think that's kind of stupid. But hey. Anyway, so yeah, except for this one, somebody decided to screenshot something, and it's somebody who doesn't normally screenshot my post, because sometimes, you know, if a funny thing happens or I post like a funny picture of me or somebody in my family, they'll screenshot it, and then we have like a band group chat and we just like spam the group chat. Sometimes whenever we're in the bus going somewhere, we just spam the group chat with all these pictures and stuff, and it's just madness to say the least. However, though, somebody who doesn't normally screenshot my photos, screenshot them, and I think right then and there, I just knew it. I just knew it. However, yeah, and then the next game, or the next morning, because we had to be there at 7:30 in the morning. My band teacher is right on the front gate there, and the one saxophonist, oh God, she's just the nicest person ever. Such a good person. You know, she does great things for a lot of people, to say the least. I mean, she always brightens up my day every time I come. Like, I see her and she brings such a good energy. It's just, you know, it's infectious, to say the least, because she has just like such a positive outlook on life. It's, yeah, I wish I sometimes had that, but sometimes, you know, it's just, yeah. But anyway, back to what I was saying. She was like, Ronnie, you're back, because I had missed not only that Friday, but the Thursday too, right? And she was just like, Ronnie, you're back, woo, like that. And then all of a sudden, my band teacher had the nerve to go like, I hope you had fun at the hockey game last night. And I thought, oh, for God's sake, woman, really? Really? You're going to come into me? And I still sounded like I was pretty sick. Like, you could tell I had not gotten over my cold. I had tissues in both of my pockets. And yet she had the nerve. She had the fucking nerve to do that. In fact, she's like, oh, well, you just better pay attention and watch what you're posting on social media. Well, you know what? I've got a routine, okay? I've been doing that for the last 3 years. You think I'm going to stop now? Like, come on. Anyway, although I do blame that person for screenshotting. I do place a little bit of the blame on him. I'd say about 70-30. Like, he's blamed 30% for her outburst, and she's 70% to blame for her outburst as well. I'm like, bruh, you want me to sit outside when it's below freezing and I have a cold? You want me to do that and possibly get tens of people sick? Which, either way, I was probably going to do that anyway, no matter which way I go. But at least if I went to the hockey, I was able to, you know, still wear my coat, have a hoodie on, hat and gloves, which I actually did do. I didn't have gloves, but I had like a hat on. And so you could definitely tell. So you want me to freeze my ass off and get more sick? And yeah, you think I was really going to do that? Yeah. Okay. Okay. If that's your logic, go ahead. But no. God, that. You know, to be honest with you, the only reason why I stayed in band this year, because I was actually contemplating quitting, because not because of that incident, but like I'm talking about like the previous year. I actually considered quitting just because it wasn't fun for me anymore. It just got to a point of, I mean, don't get me wrong, like the pep band for basketball and football, I love doing that. In fact, that's pretty much the only reason why I'm sticking around this year and I'm doing band next year. Not because of the competitions where I'm gone all day on Saturday. Like, I don't like that. I think because she has us watch other bands too. And we could be the first band to perform and we could be sitting on the bleachers for 4 or 5 hours until they announce the results. And it's just no fun. It's just boring. The amount of things I could be doing in my life and you're making me do that. That is torture. That I hate. Let's see, what else was I gonna say about that? Yeah, like that I'm just not a fan of at all. And the Peach Bowl was also another reason why I decided to stick in the band because, I'd be going to so many of these cities and stuff. Like we'd be traveling through all the big cities. Like, for example, we traveled to Kansas City. We went through St. Louis. We went through Kentucky, although Kentucky's not a city, it is a state. But still, we went through Kentucky and stuff. We went through Tennessee. Yeah, obviously I was going to go. However, though, yeah, the only reason why I'm sticking around and doing band next year is because I love doing the football games and the basketball games, the pep band for that stuff. All the other stuff, I could really care less about all the rest of that stuff, to be honest. Because if I'm being honest with you, I'm not very good at the trombone. She thinks I am, and I'm really not. I don't get me wrong, I am musical. I love music. But it's just band it's over middle school, it was fun, I was having fun, but ever since last year, my sophomore year of band, I don't know, I've just been growing less and less fond of it, if I'm being honest with you. God, this guy's talking nice about Omaha. Shh. At least they got their head coach out. But I guess he's still going to stick around as like general manager or owner or some weird crap, which. Yeah. But anyway, back to my band thing. So yeah, in fact, I'm not going to plan on doing band in college, honestly, because I'll be busy getting my major for communication, so that you'll see me on the big networks, ESPN and stuff like that. Yeah. Obviously, I still hope to keep Gigantic Saturday or Gigantic the series still around while I'm at those big networks doing that, because I absolutely love doing play-by-play. Like if I could do a game every single day, I would, honestly. So yeah, but yeah, I've just grown less and less. It's just band's not really that fun for me anymore, if I'm being honest. But I love going to football games and I love doing the pep bands and stuff like that at football and basketball. So you know what? Might as well. If never stop doing what you love. And if you don't love something, don't do it. Although I'm gonna have to see, the thing about high school band is that it's not like college band where you can choose what band you want to do and stuff like that, where you can choose to do pep band but not do concert band. If we had that option, 100% I'd do it. I'd 150 million% would do that. I'd do it for the football games, although I'm sure the marching competitions would probably count in that category too, which I guess would be okay. But yeah, I would do that. And then, of course, just the pep band for basketball, and that'd be it. I wouldn't do concert band. But yeah, right now they're in double overtime. They're just getting first time. It's gone to a multi-overtime game in the USHL this year. Yeah. In fact, we're pretty much going to stay here. Okay. We're going to stay on until 11 p.m. Eastern. I didn't plan on being, in fact, I planned on being done with this about 10 minutes ago, but obviously that did not happen. So, yeah. So yeah, in fact, instead we're just gonna stick around for the rest of the hour, can finish listening to this game, because now there's interest in it. So that's what we're gonna do. In fact, what I'm gonna do, double. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Oh wait, that must have been Dubuque and Youngstown, not Muskegon and Green Bay. Yeah, okay, now that I think about it, it was. All right.
On the NHL Central Scouting Final Rankings. Mayo cuts across the middle of the ice. Open the scoring for the Jacks in the second. To Kroll. Connor fires. Great block shot by Peterson to keep it tied. Now he gets it back in the
Oh shoot, I knew I was going to do that once my phone turned off. I knew I was
middle
going
of
to
the
do
ice. Make it Lev Katzen.
that. Sorry.
Up the far side. Player takes it away. Here's Will Hughes. He has a goal today. His shot blocked by Veo. Connor picks it up. Clears the zone to Kroll. Near side, Kroll plays to Gridden. Gridden slows up, cuts across, drops off. Now goes to Young far side. Young down the wall to Gridden. Goes all the way to Kroll. Back to Gridden. Kroll near side, off the post. Gets it back in the corner. Cody Kroll out for Whitco. Backhander, he scores!
God damn it. That pisses me off. That honest to God pissed me off. Oh, shut up, bitch. Turn that shit off. There we go. All right. Well, we won't be with you now for the rest of the hour because I've got nothing else to fill 17 more minutes left, to be honest with you. But now you know. Now you know. By the way, I also forgot to mention Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals, if necessary, will be on Sunday, May 5th. However, that's the day of my band concert. But luckily enough, it starts at 3 o'clock, which is good. So what we'll do is that, although we're having a banquet afterwards where they're doing like the awards and stuff for the year, as much as I'd like to go to that, if we do end up forcing Game 5, I will be going to the watch party. I won't be going to the banquet. I'll be going to the watch party. So, yeah. Which, I mean, that's not really required. I mean, like, it's because we're not performing or anything like that. We're just eating food. So, yeah. Although, and we probably won't get the same spot if we do go on that Game 5 because we've gotten the same spot the last couple of times we've been there. And that's just because we arrive, 3 or 2.5 to 3 hours early. Well, we're only probably going to have less than an hour. So because of that, I'm going to have my mom order something off of Amazon. I just don't have enough money left in gift cards in order to do it, because the only reason why I buy things on Amazon is because I've gotten a ton of gift cards for, stuff like that on there. So I won't be. And the thing I want to buy, or like the one I picked up, it's like 15 something. Although with shipping, it's probably going to be like 20. And I only have like $8.21 left on there. So yeah, I'm going to have, I'll just ask my mom if she can buy it for me, and then I'll just pay her back just because. See, the funny thing was I'm still using my money I had from Georgia. The funny thing about that is I actually came back from Georgia with more money. And when I mean more money, I mean like cash, like cards and stuff. I don't know about that, but I came back with more cash at least than when I went down. We'll just say that, say the least. We'll say that. But yeah, make sure you join us though, because it's going to be an important series with Fargo. So make sure you join us for that. Stay tuned now for your early edition of the local news. of your local news. And then we will have an extended edition of the RVN news at night and then RVN late night. So we will see you. Yes, you. Sunday night for the $1 Million Drop Live and a post in a season or a playoff recap. Now, if we're back and Fargo and Sioux City are still playing, what we'll do is that we'll go on the air then, and then it'll transition right into the $1 Million Drop, and we won't even do a playoff recap at that point, which we'll probably do. It'll probably be about the third. See, that's the thing though. It would have to be if the party went from 3 to 5, which I think it does, but my mom says it's actually from 4 to 6. So I don't know. However, though, what I will do is that I'll get started on my stuff for Fargo and Sioux City. I will do that. I'll actually probably get started with that tonight and then do like stats on the way up tomorrow. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to plan out my prep for that, but I'm going to do that to say the least. So we will see you Sunday night sometime, approximately. I don't know when, to be honest with you, but we will see you Sunday night for sure. So make sure you join us for that. Okay. Bye.